Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Small Print Podcast. I am your host, Elise, and I blog at roulettereader.wordpress.com.
And I'm Dawn, and I blog at bangbangbookblog.com.
And today we continue our reread of the Remnant Chronicles, specifically doing the Heart of Betrayal. We are going to discuss chapters 22 through 36 today. Let's get started.
All right.
Chapter 20... Wait, what did I just say? 22?
22.
Leah receives clothing, and it has a very specific meaning.
Mm-hmm.
And the Commissar is not happy.
Well, we
will
don't
not be
know
happy.
yet. Well,
I'm getting a little ahead of myself, I guess.
Yeah.
But they say he's going to be pissed off about it in this chapter. She is basically... She goes to pick up her clothing, and Aster tells her that this old man... So the elderly are really revered in Venda because there's not many of them. It's very difficult to survive, and so if you make it to an old age, you're considered pretty much an equal with the Commissar. And so he had a dream, this particular guy had a dream that essentially he had a dream about Leah, is what is hinted here. Mm-hmm. And so based off of that dream, that's how they designed her clothing. And I'm getting a sense that, well, do we know if the women who made the dress are from that clan?
I think so.
Okay.
I think they're all
So the clothing is in the style of the oldest clan of Venda, the Mirasi clan, and essentially means she's been welcomed by them. And they say it's sure to spark the wrath of many in the council. So this prisoner, this outsider, a royal no less, is being welcomed by one of the most important, revered, oldest clans of Venda. It means something.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, well, he's not old enough to be part of the ancients, but
correct.
He's heard stories.
Yeah, no.
He's old enough to hear stories.
He's just an elder in Venda. But what I found interesting also about this chapter is that Calantha seems happy about the fact that the Commissar will not be happy about this.
But she's so
back and forth.
Yeah. Still don't know what her deal is.
Yep.
She's unreliable.
She is, and I love that.
Yeah.
So chapter 23 is told from Rafe's perspective, and he basically finds out that Caden knows that they are in fact lying. Leah and Rafe are lying about their emotions towards each other, and that they're not, that they don't hate each other.
This chapter confused me a bit.
Really?
Because as Rafe is talking, in his head, it sounds like Caden is answering. Mm-hmm. So is Caden hearing his thoughts, or is he just very observant?
Well, here's the thing. We have hinted several times that we think that Caden has the gift. So I think it's part of both. I think because he cuts him off in his thought right here on 183. Instead of cutting in on a dance, I should have cut his. And then he comes in with the word Kimentra. It's a word you might find useful. It basically means liar. So I think he can sense through the gift
and
what
why
he's saying.
Did Rafe not question, how do you know what I'm thinking? Like, he's just like, well, okay, whatever.
I don't know. Sometimes he's not the most observant. Like, no, truly, he is not. And then they have some testosterone battles here. Caden tells him, my quarters are much plainer, but Leah seems to be content there, if you know what I mean. Jeez. I literally wrote G's in my book. But yeah, he says Caden did have a whiff of what was going on. How? I didn't know, but I'd have to do a better job of convincing him. So yeah, that's kind of also confirmation that Caden probably has the gift.
Okay.
And we find out later why he might. Chapter 24. Leah has to enter the sanctum wearing the clan garb, and plainly put, the responses are hostile. She uses every opportunity to basically make Malik suffer, and I love it. Let's see, I don't really have a lot of notes in this chapter personally.
I didn't make any notes.
She just has to say the prayer with the garb on. Rafe kind of is playing the game, because again, in the last chapter we find out that he has got to continue to trick people, so he gives her this like horrible stare. She has to remind herself that it's a performance, but is it? I mean, she's confused. Moving on to chapter 25. Leah is doing some things that the Komazar and Caden don't like. For example, she is singing on the wall, or she's like sitting on the wall and like telling stories, similar to what Venda herself literally did. So now they're putting soldiers there. People are gathering to listen. It's just causing a problem for the people who do not really want her to influence the people.
Mm.
We get a little bit of information about the Mirazi clan on page 194. The Mirazi clan represents all things Vendan, hardy, enduring, and steadfast. They honor many of the ways of old that others had forgotten, but from them come the promises of loyalty above all. So they are basically, I guess, direct descendants of the ancients, it kind of sounds like. Yeah. And they hold on to that heritage. Yeah, their bloodline reaches all the way back to the only child Lady Venda had.
And that's all we really get about her child. They don't say what happened to her.
What its name was, pretty much anything. Oh, its name was Miras. Yeah, sorry. That's it. That's the only
she just dies and he marries again, but we don't get any more information.
Yeah.
And I don't remember getting any more information as the book progresses. I don't have since forgotten, so there may have been. I don't remember this part, so...
There's a scene with Even and the horse. Do you have any notes about that? I found that was interesting. Is that just character development, or is that something we are supposed to...
Well, we know his dad gave it to him. I think it's just character development. Okay. I think he might be an ally.
Yeah.
I think that's just setting that up.
He's already given her boots back and like found the rest of her stuff that she traveled with. She just continues to climb out the wall. She's having dreams. And again, I think her dreams are to be noted. So she has one of Rafe leaving. He was dressed in garb I had never seen. Rafe, a warrior of frightening stature, and his expression was hot and fierce, and he wore swords at both sides. So keep that in mind in case that comes up later. Is that a good thing or bad thing? We don't know.
Yeah. The other note I made is Walter's war strategy to her. Can't remember page 202. And this is where she starts to strategize herself. This is when she starts to really go after Malik. This is sometimes winning is not the only matter of knowing the rules, but making your opponent think he knows better than them.
Absolutely. I didn't pay attention to that.
This is how she's going to try to start to defeat the Komazar and
the council.
And her father, probably in the end.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Good point there. Chapter 26 is from Caden's point of view. And this is, I'm really glad you said that because it's a perfect segue into what happens into this chapter. She walks up to the, how do you say this? Chivdars?
I just be making stuff up, girl.
I'm going to say Chivdars. That's how I say it in my head. They're playing a game, kind of like a card game, but with like wooden pieces. And she pretends that she needs to ask a bunch of questions to figure it out. And it looks like she's losing and everybody's panicking. Rafe is there watching. Caden is really upset that she's doing this. Malik continues to raise his bets. She continues to lose cards. And in the end, she completely destroys them. She wins everything. And Malik is just absolutely upset. And yeah. So we get basically a full confirmation of her intelligence.
Yeah.
And her plan. Start small.
Malik is
pissed.
He's not happy. It reminded me a little bit of Kestrel in the Winter's book of Bite and Sting, and how she kind of out strategized her opponents.
27. Rafe is discussing his experiences watching her play the card game, or the game. And he's trying to get info from Calantha, but he's frustrated because she literally gives him nothing. He says on page 210, does she ever listen to anyone, referring to Leah? And I wrote, why do men continue to expect her to be this vapid and submissive individual? Like, the Komazar underestimates her, Caden underestimates her, Rafe underestimates her. It's like, at what point are you going to start to believe that this woman has...
This is all they know is their submissive moms. They don't know any better.
It's just like, okay, but by this point in the series, Leah has clearly proven proven that the opposite could be true. So start expecting it. There were few women in the sanctum here, and none seemed to have any position or power except Calantha. We still don't know why, but she is important for some reason. And he is losing his patience. And then in between chapter 27 and 28, we have a last testament of Gaudril. The only thing I noted was there's a line, it says, "It was how my mother survived in those early years. It's how we survive now." But she doesn't say anything other than, like, the gift is taught. Is that true?
Yeah, because this is what Dahara told her word for word.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's also in the first book.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Gaudril telling it to whoever the child is she's speaking to. I'm guessing it's Morgan.
Right.
So yeah, this is passed down, and this seems to be the only thing that is passed down that is correct and has stayed the same and has not been changed.
Right.
Which seems to be a theme in this book, is stories being passed down and they be altered.
Yeah. I guess I didn't realize that it was something that was literally taught. I thought it was something you were born with, or in, like, at some point your spirit received it from the universe. I don't know. I didn't realize that they literally taught it to their descendants, which would make sense because Leah never got that. So she didn't really realize that she had the gift until Dahara really started to teach her about it. Any more notes there?
No.
All right. 28. This is a pretty hefty chapter. Caden is... Oh, we discover the reason Caden is so loyal to the Commissar, but I think it's really just scratching the surface, honestly. Yeah. The Commissar also returns to the Sanctum in this chapter. He's been gone. Excuse me. And so, one thing that was weird, I'm going to backtrack a second. Calantha tells Leah to braid her hair when they're in the Sanctum.
I think she's playing games. I don't know if Venda perhaps wore her hair like that and she's dressed like her. Maybe she's trying to either get people, the other council members, to follow her, or she's trying to create tension with her and the Commissar. We're still not quite sure what her agenda is.
Mm-hmm. And then she says, "Tell me, is Calantha of the Marasi clan?" And the little servant girl says, "Oh, I'm not to tell, ma'am." And then, "Not to tell." I think she already had. So we're getting a little bit of information about Calantha. She's descendant of Marasi clan. Lock that away for later. I'm noticing that Venda itself seems to be this, like, breathing power source for Leah. On page 216, she says, like, every time she has to say the prayer, she feels the pulse of the walls around her, and that the Sanctum was growing stronger in her. So I'm not sure, like, I don't know. Is she... I don't know. I'm getting ahead of myself. I just wanted to note that. I thought that was interesting. We start to discover what happened to the two missing governors. There's a new one. He was killed, and someone took his place.
Yeah, I'm finding this quite fascinating that there are several governors who are being replaced, and I have theories. I think it's a spoiler, so I won't say anything.
Yeah, I don't have any theories about that yet. Okay. So Caden basically reveals that he was traded by his father. His mother loved him, but after she died, he was basically sold to beggars. And his father never wanted him back. So he reveals that his father was indeed royal. He was a bastard son of him. His mother was one of the servants in that man's house. We still don't know who it is. But the beggars that he was sold to were very abusive and basically capitalized on Caden's presence, basically. They made him go out in the street and beg, and if he didn't bring a certain amount back, they would beat him, and the cycle would return. And then, essentially, the Commissar came by, saw him all bloody, took him, and then went and killed the people who did that to him. So that kind of explains a portion of why Caden is so loyal. Mm-hmm. He saved him. Which we kind of knew, but we didn't know the details.
Yeah.
And we get confirmation that Caden was also Moragese. which I didn't really pick up on the first time I read this series.
No.
Yeah, I didn't really get that. I just thought he was good at languages. I don't know. So was Leo.
I picked up on it because I remember who his father is. So I did pick up on it.
But the first time reading through.
Yeah, the first time. I remember. I remember the
guess I
big
missed that.
stuff that happens.
Yeah.
I don't remember all the little stuff.
Mm-hmm. So she's learning. I mean, she's pulling back the layers of who Caden is. She's thought kind of the whole time that she knew who he was, this Vendan vagabond who was an assassin sent to kill her. But now she's pulling back these layers and discovering more and more about him. And I'm wondering if it's going to change things at the end of the series. No idea. We found out that his mother's name is Katerin, and that's all he says about her, really. Chapter 29. Do you have any more notes about that?
I think I just figured something out, but I'm going to keep it to myself.
Yeah, okay.
I'll tell you later.
Afterwards. Chapter 29. Caden leaves to find the last missing governor. They also share a passionate kiss. Well, passionate on Caden's side.
Yeah, I almost cried a little bit. This poor guy. I know you hate Caden.
I don't hate him.
Yeah, you do.
I really don't hate him. I don't prefer him out of the two.
No, I don't either.
But you're right. This chapter was sad.
Oh my God.
He believes he has a chance.
Mm-hmm. And she's just like, nope. Oh, so
all
sad.
I tasted on my lips was my carefully calculated lie. Damn.
That's harsh.
It is harsh.
Poor guy.
Yeah, okay. He rides off into the sunset thinking he's got this hot woman back home. I don't know where I'm going with that. Chapter 30. The Commissar decides to take Leah on this tour around Venda to display her gift. And sorry, gotta find my notes here. You've been welcomed by the clan of Mirazi. Was a welcome something even the Commissar didn't know how to navigate? Or maybe it was simply his intent to control it. She's thinking about why the Commissar is now doing this. He probably didn't have a plan to do this until she was given that clothing. She asks him his name, which I love. I love that she asked him that. He's like, no, only the Commissar. And like identity is everything to him. It's his ultimate source of control. So he's trying to control her identity, and he doesn't want to give her the opportunity to do the same. We get the sense of, we confirm the Commissar's strategy. He takes her to this poorest hamlet in Venda. He says word spreads quickly among the hill folk. They are our eyes and ears. So if he starts with them, word will travel faster and, hype up Leah's presence here. Yeah, he's using it to fill them instead of food, essentially, because obviously there's some kind of shortage.
One thing not annoys me about Leah, but she gets these voices, but she doesn't want them. It's like, but they're there to help you. She so fights back, but I know it's foreign to her, but it's like, girl, listen to it.
Right, she knows what it is now. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but she still is just like, I don't want to hear it.
Right.
Well, too damn bad.
This is your lot in life now.
The other thing that I noted is on page 231. I think it's her voices are saying we're all part of a greater story too, one that transcends soil, wind, and time. Well, what is that? Soil would mean civilization. Wind, I'm assuming, is the voices, and they refer to the voices as listen to the wind, and
maybe
the wind is blowing, and time.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know what that means.
I didn't stop to think about that one. I think it could be Venda speaking to her. I knew you would come is what she says earlier in that paragraph. We are all part of a greater story. One that transcends time. That could mean just that Venda is talking to her, like, I was born centuries ago, but here you are continuing my story and the story that was began with my sisters and I. Perhaps that's what she means. I don't know. Did you catch anything, or did you notice that scene with the tea? The Thanos tea?
I remember it, but I don't.
Why did the Commissar not want to partake, and she steps in and is like, nope, we're gonna have some. The tea is integral to their identity as Vendans, and he doesn't like it, clearly. What's that about? That was weird to me.
I just took it as it was nasty, but now that you say it, it's probably something more.
But the Commissar is not the kind of guy who would just abstain from something because it was nasty. Like, if it served his purpose, he's gonna frickin' drink that crap. I don't know, it's weird. That was weird to me. That's all I have for this chapter.
Unless he's doing something with it and he knows something's tainted.
And who knows? All right.
Just do everybody drink it, or is it like just for poor people? Okay.
Nope, everybody drinks it. Because remember, Caden was like, "This drink is tied to us. It's gotten us through."
Maybe he hates it because it's tied to them. It's not doing anything. Maybe.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. Yeah. Maybe it'll come back around. I don't know. It just struck me as odd. We have a Morgan Book of Holy Text excerpt. I didn't take any notes about this whatsoever.
Only thing I noticed is that this is volume 4, and then later we get a volume 3. So somebody is rewriting their history. And they're changing it as they go along.
Interesting.
That's all.
Yeah. Caden's perspective is given to us in chapter 31, and he, like we said, he's been on the search for the new governor. He finds him. I feel like we are confirmed that he has the gift on 241.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He said he heard her name before he ever met her, and that he said, I managed to choke it from my life the moment I met the Commissar. The knowing had only brought me pain. That's the gift. Mm-hmm. His mom taught him. Is he the first man to have this gift? Because isn't it only the daughters of Morgan?
Yes, believe it's only daughters, but Leah's mom says that may not necessarily be so. It could be men too, but no confirmed men.
Sure.
Have known to have it.
I feel like an idiot because the first time I read through this book, I didn't pick up on any of that.
What?
I know. I just was not paying attention.
That was a huge revelation.
Again, it's because I don't like his character very much. He's not a character that I'm personally invested in. And I'm reading this through, I'm like, I don't remember that. I know. Feel free to shame me.
Because I will. Shame.
She's
Cersei. Shame.
What is it? Confess. Yeah.
This is where I started to make my theories of that Caden is the dragon. I have further made another theory, but I don't want to reveal it. Maybe the end of the book. I might say what my theory is, but
is it a spoiler?
No, it's just a theory. That I have. Should I wait?
Well, I mean, if it's a theory based on information up until this literal point, I think you can share it.
Well, it's also based on well, I'll wait until we get a little further.
Okay.
There's more
to the end of our section. Yeah. Sure. That makes sense. So he finds the governor. The second one has also been killed.
Yeah. You still don't have any ideas about who these governors are?
You know, I haven't even stopped to really think about it. Again, the first time through, I'm just like, oh, whatever. It's just crap happening.
I think I know who the governors are.
Do you think they're spies?
No, I think they're Rafe's men. They're killing the governors on their way there to become the new governor. That's how they're getting in. That's what I think. And I think one of them's Sven.
Haven't we already met the new one?
We've only met one.
And Rafe didn't recognize him.
They don't recognize any of them. They're just like, oh, he's a new governor now, I guess.
No. I mean, Rafe, when he's... Well, none of them are back yet. None of them are back yet.
Yeah, he recognized Jeb, we will see a little bit later.
Right. And that's why it was like they make a point to point that out that he...
Rafe is a liar,
you're true, though. I mean, you're right, though, in that it's only 2 governors that have gone missing. And then now we know where the third one has been. He's... Okay, that makes sense. No, I didn't even put that together. Very nice. Very nice. That makes sense.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking these new governors are his men. There are 4 coming, right?
No, there's only 2. There's 3 men coming.
3 men coming.
Totally. There's only 3.
Oh, okay.
Because remember, she's like 3,000, and he's like, no, 3.
4. Okay.
Yeah. That makes sense. Huh. Did we? Okay, wait. Then can we backtrack to when the Commissar comes back with one of the guys?
Yeah.
Okay, we're backtracking, people. What chapter was that?
It's in my notes. It is chapter 28. It's the new governor of Ballwood.
Because he bursts in. Yeah, the governor of Ballwood. We're hungry. I spotted the one who had knew a young man both brazen and afraid. 217. His eyes darted around the room, quickly trying to assess his new threats. His movements were sharp and his laughter tight. He may have just killed the last governor to gain his position, but the sanctum was not his homeland. Neither was Venda. New rules would have to be learned. That's the only description we get about him. So maybe his eyes are shifting around the room to find Rafe?
Yeah. Or
Okay.
he's like in this new situation, like, oh my God, they're going to recognize me. They don't
Sure.
know me from anything.
Okay. Interesting. Sturdy man. Not young. Not young. So that
Is
could
that
be
Sven?
Sven. Yeah. Interesting. All right. Moving forward. Chapter 32. Rafe is trying to take a bath. Then Leah finds her way to him.
This is just like bursts in, like.
Yeah. What did they talk about here? I didn't really make any notes in this one.
The only note I took is that Rafe is not taking her back to Morgan.
Oh yeah,
That's the only thing I got.
I was gonna make a note. Even Terravin.
Yeah.
Like, what is that about?
He's taking her to Dahlbreck and she's not going back home.
Is that because like, oh, I love her, she's gonna be my wife, I'm gonna get married, or is it like I'm taking the bitch?
Or who knows? We don't know.
It was weird. It was
Maybe
ominous.
they still are gonna try and take whatever Morgan took from them first.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, we hear very little from Rafe. Did you notice that?
Mm-hmm.
Very little. Especially since he's the one that Leah technically has chosen. It's very strange. I just now realized that. His chapters are incredibly short. I don't know. Anyway. So in chapter 33, Leah uses Aster to show her more of the catacombs and things like that. And she finds, okay, is this a different location than the one before? That wasn't clear.
Are they still in her room? Did she take her out of the room?
I think so. Let me start from the beginning. Blah blah blah.
Do you want to go to the ghoul caves?
So I think it's a different location. So she takes her here. So either it's just a different entrance to the library, or no, this is different. To an enormous room, one that bore the art and architecture of another time. So she makes it sound like she's never been in here before. This is a new location. Maybe it's a museum or some other... Because isn't there like the Museum of Metropolitan? No,
that's New York. There is a big museum there.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it's called.
So maybe that's where she's at.
Maybe.
And they're burning whatever materials were there.
Are they burning books?
Yeah, they are.
So that's what I noted. Like, why certain books over other ones? Is it because it's not useful to them?
Why would you throw anything away at this point?
Is it just fiction? They don't need it? Because they don't read there. These people don't read. All they do is pass down stories.
And I love how Aster is like, they burn them in the kitchen. What? And so, and then she notes that the book that she currently has from the scholar, the cover was scorched. So did the scholar steal it from these people too?
Or maybe
That's something
Morgan
I didn't notice
was
before either.
burning their own books. And I do I remember her saying that the book was burned. Like it had tried to be destroyed.
Indeed.
I know they're trying to destroy the history.
Right.
Because it's got
secrets aplenty.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Aster is like, I'm gonna grab one, and she grabs her a book and brings it back. And we don't know what the book is. But I think it's gonna be Aster probably grabbed this like incredible book.
Of course.
That's gonna,
of course.
give her all the rest of the secrets.
A lot of information in this chapter.
Mm-hmm.
One is kind of a spoiler, so I won't really say, but it's, if you pay attention to what Aster says about the page 250, the tunnel leads to the bottom of the cliffs at the bottom. Nothing there but the river, lots of wet rock and bridge gears. She's trying to get out of Venda, and they have to pass the Mississippi River, and the
Wait.
bridge is manned.
The Potomac, you mean?
Is it the Mississippi or the Potomac?
The
It's a
Mississippi-
great river.
The Mississippi is in Illinois, so it's not the Mississippi.
But I feel like the way that this country is set up.
You think they've been squashed together?
So here's the Great River. I don't know what this Great River is. How big is the Potomac? Maybe it is.
It's pretty big, I believe. It cuts through the entire city. Let's see. Google searching.
Well, anyway, so she's trying to figure out how to get out of Venda, and the only way to get out is through a bridge that is manned, and nobody's gonna be like, okay, I'll lower the bridge for you.
Yeah, the river's huge.
Okay, so maybe it's a Potomac.
Yeah.
All this time, that makes sense. All this time, I'm thinking
at
it's
it.
the Mississippi
It's
River, and I'm
massive.
like, how did they go from DC to Illinois?
Yeah.
How did half of the world just disappear like that? Okay.
Yeah, and Washington D.C. sits on a pretty large portion of the city. I mean, look at that. That's massive.
Yeah.
So that's pretty damn big.
It's also kind of historical in that that's how slaves had to get free. They had to cross that Potomac River.
Mhm.
I don't think Mary was going there with that, but I mean,
It's an
it is.
interesting
It's
point.
historic.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's paying attention to how she can get out of the city.
Yeah.
And then she realized that someone was in her room.
Yep.
So do you have any guesses? I'm gonna go with
I'm gonna say
Calantha.
Calantha. Yeah, Calantha. I think so. And she like arranged the books perfectly. She's like, here, I'm seeing this.
She can probably read it.
She
I
probably
mean, if
can.
she's part of the tribe, she
Mhm.
probably.
Yep.
Why hasn't she asked somebody from the damn tribe to read that book? Wouldn't that make sense? I just not realized
I
that.
mean, maybe she just doesn't know how to contact them. I don't know.
She doesn't ask her.
I know. Yeah. Sometimes she makes just kind of dumb mistakes a little bit, or just doesn't think ahead. Any other notes on that chapter?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so we get a pretty loaded Book of Mormon Holy Text here.
This
And-
is volume 3.
Correct.
This is
so
before.
this is what you said, how it goes back. So we're getting some information before what we previously had, which was like Happy, and she's the leader or whatever. And Harik, true and faithful, brought Aldred to Morgan, a husband worthy in the sight of gods, and the remnant rejoiced. Did they though?
Okay, yes, they did. If you read the Morgan novella, and I'm assuming that this is what happens. This is well, Harik is not true and faithful,
No, heck no.
but and he did not bring Aldred
No.
to Morgan. Aldred is in love with Morgan,
Mm-hmm.
and he sells her for a bag of grain. That is true.
Harik does.
No, Aldred does.
Aldred?
He sells.
No.
Yes, yeah, you're right.
Harik sells her to Aldred.
Yeah. For a bag of grain.
Correct.
But it wasn't malicious. It was he loved her, and he knew that Harik was bad, and he was trying to get her out of him, out of his way.
Sure.
So that part, he is worthy. The husband is worthy.
Okay.
But I want to go back to the last podcast where I said that Venda is Morgan's mother. That is not true. I was wrong.
Yeah.
Venda is Morgan's aunt.
What the hell?
I'm still kind of confused.
No.
It
Morgan,
is.
Venda, and Gaudril were sisters.
According to the novella,
Wait, no.
Venda is her aunt.
I'm sorry. Venda and Gaudril are sisters. Morgan. We just talked about this.
Okay, so in the novella, Morgan's mother dies in childbirth.
Because I read some. Well, wait. We should wait to have this conversation because
To the
there's
next
more
chapter.
in
Okay.
that. Yeah,
We'll
there's-
wait.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was wrong in the last podcast.
Because
She does get to start translating in the
yeah,
next
because
chapter.
yes, okay, so let's wait. So 34, Leah is reading about what we were just talking about, and she's trying to decipher what's happening. Really quickly, so the first passage seemed to be a fanciful tale told to a child to distract her from hunger. So it's clear that it is Gaudril talking to Venda, right? And then she notes
Is she
that it
talking to
was,
Venda or Morgan? Is she talking about
Morgan.
Venda?
She's talking about Venda. Correct. Sorry. It gets very confusing.
Mhm.
It was a strangely reminiscent of the Morgan Holy Text as well. Keep that in mind. I think we kind of already know that, but still. Do you want to talk about this one here? I mean, it's just like the stars, and I said 7, not 8, because there are 8 in our solar system. But I don't know what that means yet. We haven't really discovered what the specific stars or star is. One says that there was only 1 star. The other says that there were 7.
Where does it say 1 star? Whose version is the 1 star?
Morgan.
Okay,
Morgan's
and Gaudrill's is 7.
Correct.
Okay.
So, yeah, see, the scholars in Morgan said that there was only 1 star brought on devastation, not 7. 1 or 7, it hardly mattered. For her, it was a storm and that it wouldn't end. I think it does matter. So here's what's interesting. Gaudrill and this child were always running from beasts that were as hungry as they were. Zombies?
No. It's the scavengers. It's the
Okay.
scavengers.
Okay.
The scavengers,
like, what's happening?
the scavengers, they would rob these clans of everything, just like the Komazar is doing. They really haven't changed since the beginning.
So the scavengers are Venden?
Yeah. They're Harik's people.
Oh, Harik's people. Okay.
And they go and they take stuff and
So
they
did
try to justify
Harik
it.
and Venda end up together?
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
I think we learn more, but in the Morgan novella, Morgan's mom dies in childbirth. In the novella, it says that Harik is her dad, but here it says he's not. That's where I'm so lost. So he could have been lying to her. He could be like, "I'm your dad. You're coming with me."
Sure. Mm-hmm.
But then Venda gets taken, and so this is who Gaudrill's talking about. I couldn't save her.
Okay.
She's running.
So
saying her name.
Harik gets Venda, Aldred gets Morgan, Gaudrill is just
left by herself.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's see. Gaudrill is talking about her father. My father commanded, and it was there. Was your father a god? Was he a god? It seemed so. And I'm thinking, was he the president?
Could be. That's an interesting theory.
And his actions caused the storm? Makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
Knowledgeable beyond possible, fearless beyond mortal, he was strong beyond reason, powerful as and then it interrupts her. Even the great can fall. And then that's where she notes the similarities between the two. Where did she go, Amma? She is gone, my child, stolen like so many others, but where? So wait, now who is she talking to? She's talking to Venda still, or no, she's talking to Morgan.
Mm-hmm.
About
Venda.
Okay. So Venda was stolen. But who is Venda to this little girl, to Morgan?
It's her aunt.
It's her aunt.
Morgan's mom and Venda are sisters. According to the novella. I don't know about this book. They're sisters. So that would be her
there's
aunt.
more women that we still don't know of.
Yeah, we don't know who
So
Morgan's
how is
mom
Gaudrill
is.
related to them?
Well, in here it says that they're sisters.
Morgan's mom?
No, Gaudrill and Venda are sisters.
Right. No, I understand.
Yeah.
But then, so is Gaudrill that woman's like cousin or other sister? I don't know.
What woman?
Morgan's mother.
I keep going back to the novella because I had to go back and read it last night. But when Morgan is she's talking to Aldred because they're friends. She says that Amma is my great grandmother or my grandmother, which leads me to believe that Morgan's mom is Gaudrill's mother or her daughter.
Yeah.
I know I'm confusing everybody right now.
Yeah, I'm confused as hell. I think we needed to draw it out on paper and then talk about it.
But it's different in both books, so I don't know which one is right.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. This is crazy. All right, well, we'll put a pin in that, but it is for certain that Gaudrill and Venda were sisters. And Morgan is something.
Morgan is Venda's niece. Venda's her aunt. Because Morgan's mother...
But Gaudrill I know that you would be sad if, like, your niece was stolen. But, like, I feel like it's a different kind of sorrow when it's your daughter or something of a closer relation. Does that make sense? She says, my Morgan.
Maybe that's all she has left because
Harik, the thief, he stole my Morgan.
Both her sisters are gone. And so this is all she has left?
Perhaps.
Venda was once a vagabond too, because she married Harik.
Harik wasn't her father, as the holy text claims. So this is why he says, this is why the novella says that he was her father.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, duh. Okay.
Because the holy text claimed that to be so. But that was not what happened.
Okay.
Yeah. The three women were once family. That's all we get.
At the end, another page, they stole from the remnant, which the scavengers did, Harik the thief. And this is another thing that, oh crap.
We lost you. There we go.
Okay. So this is another thing that I noted is that Harik the thief, he stole my Morgan. The only thing we know about the dragon, he's the seed of the thief. So we're gonna assume that the dragon is the seed of Harik.
But this is why I don't think that it's Caden.
But this is why I think it is. Because Harik the thief stole my Morgan. He sold her for a sack of grain to Aldred the scavenger. Anybody can be a descendant from Harik. He could have any number
so you
of
think
descendants.
Aldred is his son? Why
no,
would he
Aldred's
sell
not
something
his son.
to his son? Right.
Harik
marries Venda.
Yeah. But Harik could have all kinds of kids. He's got all kinds of kids. He could have any descendant. And when we find out who Caden's dad is, Caden's dad could be a descendant of Harik. And because Caden is a descendant of by proxy.
I mean, I guess there is literally nothing linking him to that right now.
Not right now.
So that's why.
But it's just a theory.
Thinking, yeah, I get you. All right, I'll accept it as a theory.
She didn't have to give me that look. She glared at me.
Eyebrows raised. Yeah, and this is what led me to believe that the Commissar is the thief, the dragon rather. But I mean, at the same time, that is a little obvious.
It is,
and
but
this book is anything but
be
obvious. Yeah, and we know just as little about him as we do about Caden at this point.
Yeah, technically,
we know less.
Commissar is a thief.
Yeah, we know less about the Commissar. So yeah, lots is revealed in this chapter when she's reading her book. Any final notes on that one?
No.
All right. 35. Rafe discovers that his men, in fact, are in Venda. He finds one of them posing as a paddy clapper, which is basically someone who picks up crap off the road. And he sees what how the Vendans execute traitors. And it's clearly a warning. Like, hey, I'm gone, but this is what could happen to you when I get back. And then I just had to laugh. Like, Rafe asks her, "Who are you, Calantha?" She shook her head. "I've been no one for a very long time." And I literally wrote, "A girl has no name."
Oh, God.
I love that so
I don't know
much.
if Mary watches Game of Thrones.
I know. No. I'm not implying.
No.
Yeah, I'm
but
not at all implying that there's a. There's supposed to be a correlation there, but I'm like,
for a long time, that is hilarious. I didn't even catch
a girl
that.
has no name. So in this chapter, basically, Calantha just is ordered to take him to see what happens to traitors. So last chapter, 36. Leah is still thinking about what she's read the night before. She's kind of having to rearrange her identity right now because she is Morgese. And she's always been told that Morrigan and Aldred were descendants of, this good thing. They were chosen by the gods, but they were not. Those she led were not a noble remnant chosen by the gods, but scavengers who preyed on others. They preyed on Morrigan, and the Commissar is still taking her around Venda and everything like that. He tells her to wear a specific outfit the next day, and he gives her Walter's baldric. Interesting.
This is where we see the psychosis of this man.
Yeah.
She makes him sympathetic.
Uh-huh.
And then he's like, "Next time I tell you to do it, you go do it." I was like, oh my God.
Yes, he's a dark man.
Yeah, he is.
Individual. She sees that Yvette has had one of her fingertips cut off because she tried to steal. So it's clear that the food situation is getting worse and worse, and the children are especially getting desperate. And then Leah loses her crap, basically, and goes to threaten/wound the quarter lord that cut off Yvette's fingertip. And the Comazar has to get involved because she is about to slash the guy with a sword. And he basically tells her, we have no children in Venda. The rules are the same no matter what your age is. The logic is there, but there's just no...
For some reason, I thought they cut her hand off. I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, oh, that's harsh.
He says you'll notice we have very few one-handed people in Venda.
Yeah, they don't get that far.
Swish.
That
is swift. Is swish?
I was going to let that go.
Yep, I corrected myself. She learns of their harsh ways, essentially, in this chapter. There's something about this chapter, but I can't articulate quite what it is yet. Why take the time to show us that? I mean, it is development, straightforwardly speaking. We get to know more about Venda as a people, but everything in this book is intentional.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, it's a little heavy-handed in this book. You know, he has to kill the butcher for stealing one of the horses.
Maybe just to show what this man does not play.
No.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out. All right.
So that's that.
So, I said my theory already. I still think it's Caden. Now that it's been confirmed that he can hear voices, and what I was saying is that he might think that him being able to hear voices and Leah, they're like connected to be destined to be lovers, but I think that they can hear each other because one, kind of like a Voldemort, Harry Potter, one can outlive while the other one survives. Like they have to go, one has to kill the other. So I think he's the dragon. I'm still gonna go with that. I may be wrong. I usually am.
Well, I mean, hey. I don't know. I want to believe that I have a theory, but I don't yet. I mean, it's just, so.
All right. So on July 21st, July 21st, we will be discussing chapter 37 through 50. We're going to start to get to the end. It's going to start picking up.
Shit goes down.
Get your tissues out because it is on.
Like Donkey Kong.
Yep. So we will catch you on the flip side.
Okay, bye.